My name is Saba Douglas-Hamilton and I'm the chairman of the International Selection Committee at Future for Nature Awards. It's always difficult trying to find enough money for conservation projects, and I think in the last 2-3 years it's been particularly difficult because of the financial crisis. There's not enough money floating around, so people aren't really able to be as philanthropic as they would be normally. The point is that, the problems don't go away, and conservation organisations desperately need funding. They desperately need to be able to carry on their activities, particularly now when there's very little support. You'd hope that when there's less money around you get more volunteers. I think you do, but the problem with volunteers is that they still cost money. You still have to feed them, you still have to house them, and unless they can pay their own way and actually really contribute something to your organisation, sometimes they can be a little bit of a burden. I think there are some very interesting things going on, which is mainly this whole internet revolution and the way that it's raising awareness, the way that it's catalysing change, especially amongst young people. And I think in the same way that we've been seeing enormous change in politics, it's possible that we could start beginning to see that coming into environmental issues. People are hungry for knowledge, and when they have knowledge, they have power. I hope that in the next 10 years we'll be able to recruit many more young people to the environmental cause. It's absolutely critical that we do. There's a tremendous sense of urgency about it because we are on borrowed time. I'm afraid I'm a bit of a dinosaur. I don't understand Facebook. I've tried, I've failed. I'm going to try again and fail better. I think that I've got a lot to learn from people who understand that social media. I'm aware that it's immensely powerful, and I want to find ways to harness that. In the last 3 years, I've had 3 children, a little girl and twin girls, and it's had an enormous impact on me. I think giving birth to a child is a very animal act. As a mother, you have to go deep inside yourself, and you have to harness the mammal inside you, and you have to really accept that that is what you are. It's been an amazing shift of gravity out of myself into these little people, and my world is now all about them. And so I am feeling a much greater sense of urgency when it comes to looking at the future. I find that the idea of my children growing up in a bleak, empty environment terrifies me. And I want to do everything I can to try to make sure that they inherit a richer earth, not a poorer earth. And my fear is that every generation we inherit a poorer earth. And we don't know what it was like for our forefathers. We don't know what it was like when the sea was full of fish or when the African plains were full of game. I hope that working together with other people and young people that we can turn that around, because it's our future, it's all about survival. I was very influenced by my parents when I grew up. My father is an elephant conservationist. My mother worked hand in hand with him to bring the ivory poaching issue to the forefront of conservation. And for me, they were tremendous mentors in my life. I learnt a lot from them, and I hope that I can have the kind of relationship with my children where I can bring them up to be conscious human beings who feel a sense of responsibility and who understand their role within the environment and contribute towards that. At the moment, I'm very much a hands-on mother because I have these 2 small twins, but I think in quite a relatively short time, I want to get back into wildlife filmmaking, which is my main profession. I've been doing conservation work all along, but wildlife filmmaking really is my passion, because I feel that if you can tell stories that inspire people to protect animals and the wider environment, then that's how I can actually contribute, and I love it. Future for Nature, in my opinion, is a very important award because it's one of the few awards in the world that is focused on young people who desperately need the kind of support and stimulation to keep them going at the work they're doing. And in Africa, where you have so few means at the disposal of young people, the Future for Nature Award can play a tremendous role by lifting people up into a position where they can become effective. I know so many young Africans who are passionate conservationists, who know so much about animals and the environment that they really ought to be sharing with the world. And I think as Future for Nature evolves and starts taking on new projects, has new ideas, maybe starts having some kind of scholarship programs that will bring young African conservationists into Europe where they can really experience first-class education, you know, those kinds of things will have an enormous impact. Obviously, focusing on exceptional individuals from around the world and then rewarding them, putting them back into their countries where they in turn will inspire people and continue their good work is also very important.